Hey, what is going on guys? My name is Gamertag and I'm back for your daily Fortnite video. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys settings that make it seem as if you literally have aimbot on Fortnite. Obviously, by using these settings, you won't directly get aimbot because of course we can't be using this in the game. But the settings that I'm going to be sharing with you guys are literally so amazing and almost comparable to having aimbot. You will land pretty much like a vast majority of your shots and realize that your accuracy and overall aim has improved a ton simply by using these exact settings. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys the settings to be using and replicating, and then I'll be talking about ways that you can actually kind of adapt them to your own liking, and then even go over some of the benefits you'll see literally just by using these settings alone. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into these settings. Now first of all, these settings are actually going to be using the linear look input curve. Obviously this is like such a big debate in Fortnite whether to use linear or exponential. And I know personally a lot of people like exponential, including myself. In fact, I was completely against linear for the longest time. But the foundation of this entire setup is using linear, so you will have to make this switch over. But don't worry, it's actually not too big of a difference. So the main part about this entire settings is actually going to be the ADS sensitivity, basically referring to when you're aimed down sights with an item in Fortnite. So starting out, the ADS look horizontal and vertical speed should both be set to around a 6% or maybe a 7% if you'd like. And I know a lot of you guys probably have yours at like the 20 or 30%, so to lower it this much seems pretty much unheard of, but I promise you guys it's not as bad as it seems, and I'll explain this in a few seconds. Next is going to be the turning horizontal and vertical boost for ADS. Both of these should be set to a 10%. And then the ADS turning boost ramp time should be set to 12.10%. So for the boost, basically, obviously linear, the main problem with it is it's so raw. So even if you barely move your right analog stick, the game will look around almost like a 360. Like, it's extremely hard to control. So by using our vertical and horizontal boost and even the ramp time that I gave you guys, it kind of gives us the same feel of exponential, where it's not super raw and we're actually able to have at least decent control over it. Now I mentioned again the vertical and horizontal speed for ADS is at a 6%. Majority of players keep theirs around a 15 to 35%, so to put it all the way down to a 6% seems ridiculously low. Now there's three main important factors of this that allows this to actually work perfectly. One is that we aren't linear, so it's not like exponential where it's going to feel as slow. Obviously it might feel a little bit different than what you guys are used to, but it's definitely not going to feel as slow as you might think considering we're at our 6%. Next is our dead zones. You guys can set your dead zones as low as you like. Obviously this will affect the speed of this. I typically keep mine at around a 15% or a 10%. And then thirdly is basically whenever a player is full speed running and you're aimed down sights trying to keep up with them, this is referred to as tracking in Fortnite. Basically the exact settings I just gave you for the aim down sight sensitivity is literally the perfect matchup for a player running at full speed. So with these settings, you can move your analog stick all the way while the player is running, and it will actually line up and literally keep the crosshair on that player when they're running full speed. This is why I say these settings alone are kind of like aimbot, because literally when you're tracking, you will not miss a single shot as long as bloom doesn't kick in too much. So now we're going to talk about the advanced look sensitivity settings. These are kind of like the X and Y sensitivities, if you will. These are basically the same thing. So currently I've been using a 61% for both my vertical and horizontal look speed. And then for my boost, I've been using an 18% for my turning horizontal and turning vertical boost with a 0.25 second turning boost ramp time. So those are my settings for my advanced look sensitivity. Of course, this refers to free aiming, so when you're not aimed down sights. I'm still kind of messing with this a little bit, but I definitely would recommend you guys build your own off of these exact settings. This is like one of the biggest concerns when using linear is basically these exact sensitivity settings, because it seems so fast, and whenever you're trying to build or realistically do anything when you're not aimed down sights with an item, which is quite a lot, it's so uncomfortable and unnatural to move around with linear on. So with those settings I just gave you guys, basically it will allow you guys to at least have decent control. It almost feel like you're still on exponential, I promise you guys. And then next, all the way at the bottom, this is the more advanced sensitivity settings. Starting with look dampening time, I currently have mine set to a 0.05 seconds. This is extremely low and it works great honestly with this exact setup. It still gives us that feeling of control and allowing us to almost have like that aimbot kind of accuracy with all of these settings. Of course, look input curve is set to obviously linear, and then it goes without saying that the aim assist strength should be set to 100%. If it's not here, please raise it as much as you possibly can. You guys probably have seen throughout the gameplay that my accuracy was pretty decent. Obviously I was just getting used to this. In fact, the gameplay in the background literally was some of my first games using these exact settings, believe it or not. So I was still trying to get used to it. You guys can see me hopping into my settings menu and changing some things around to obviously make it more comfortable for myself. But overall, like, my shotgun accuracy specifically was unbelievable. I don't think I missed realistically barely any shots at all. I was landing insane flick shots on the opponent's head, dealing like 200 damage like for a majority of my shots. It was unbelievable. Literally seemed as if, to me at least, that I had an aimbot simply by using these settings. Obviously it might take a couple days for me to get used to these settings fully, just like it will for you guys, but eventually once I do get used to these settings, and you guys as well, we will have literally that aimbot kind of accuracy. Obviously aimbot is not allowed in Fortnite, so this is definitely like the closest that we can get literally with these settings alone. Now of course you can replicate my settings, that's kind of what I recommend you do. However, if you feel like, you know, throughout the game that some of these settings might be a little too fast for you guys or too slow, you can certainly tweak them to your own personal preference and find your own comfort zone. This is extremely important. And keep in mind that using linear, obviously things might seem a little fast at first, but once you get used to it, it'll begin to feel a lot more natural, and within due time everything will set in and you'll obviously play with a lot more comfort, and it will just become second nature to you guys. One of the main things I really do recommend when using these settings, like once you turn them on and make the switch over here, is go into a creative game, find like an aim training course, or maybe just do general 1v1s against friends or something, and literally just do this for 10 to 15 minutes to at least get used to these settings. And then again, as I mentioned, you can tweak them to your own personal preference. Obviously this will help you guys warm up with these settings and get a feel for them and what they will control a lot better than just hopping into a regular public match like I did. So this is definitely what I recommend you guys do after making the switch over to these settings. Now that's essentially going to be it for today's video, guys. Again, we covered everything from the exact settings you should be using. I even talked about how you might want to adjust some of them to adapt. Talked about obviously the recommended way to actually get used to them, of course hopping into creative, doing 1v1s, or even aim training courses. Now you guys might have noticed at the very beginning of the video I put on screen about a V-Buck giveaway that I'm doing kind of for the holidays to give back to you guys for like Christmas, if you will. So essentially it's going to be a 13,000 V-Buck giveaway, and all you have to do to enter is leave a like down below, subscribe and turn on post notifications, and then comment your Epic account name or your Fortnite name, if you will. So that's all you have to do. Like the video, subscribe and turn on post notifications, and comment your Fortnite or Epic account's name, and you're automatically going to be entered in the giveaway. I'll be picking a random person from my comment section, and basically I will be announcing the winners in a future video, so definitely stay tuned for that. So that's how you guys can basically get entered in a free 13,000 V-Buck giveaway. Let me know what you guys thought about this video down below in these exact settings. I promise you guys, you will eventually have aimbot accuracy by using these. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, a like would be beyond appreciated. And of course, on the contrary, if you genuinely disliked today's video, then by all means, feel free to leave a dislike as well. And if you're new around here and would like to see more daily Fortnite content like this in the future, feel free to subscribe as well as turning on those post notifications. Nonetheless, my name is Gamertag. Thank you all for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Adios.